Hey everybody, welcome back to our virtual camp series. This is the first video in the Cybersecurity and You topic. Today we're here with Dr. Anochi Fanoswala, who is a member of the faculty at UW-Whitewater and one of our experts in cybersecurity. Anochi, do you want to tell them a little bit more about yourself?
All right. My name is Onoche Fanoswala. I'm a faculty, an assistant professor at UW-Whitewater, the IT and supply chain management department. So I teach courses related to cybersecurity, as Elena mentioned, um, and networking. So courses like data-driven security, basically courses that help you secure your computer systems and network. And I also do some uh, teaching on data related topics.
Yeah, he's also in data analytics. um, so you mentioned security related to computers. Why, so I think, from watching television and movies, I think most people have an idea of like, say, why, the FBI or NASA or another government organization or even a corporation might be interested in securing their data and their accounts and their computers. But like you or I or anyone who's watching this, why does this actually matter to us? Or can we just say like, oh, well, they're taking care of it and we don't have to worry about it?
I think we really need to worry because for us as individuals, a lot of our activities nowadays are done online. In fact, if you surf the internet, you're you're a potential victim of cybercrime or cyber criminals. They're always there in the cyberspace looking to do some damage or harm. Could be it could be stealing your money or hijacking your profile. So as an individual, it's not just corporations, it's not just the FBI and the government that should be wary of, cyber threats. Individuals should be, as long as you carry out activities on computer systems, networks, or internet.
So you mentioned two things. You talked about potentially stealing money, and you also talked about stealing your personal information. So let's take the money piece first. So a lot of the folks watching this are in high school, so they obviously are familiar with credit cards, banking, and all that stuff, but perhaps don't manage their own accounts. So can you talk a little bit about where, well, for things that they might manage, like a Venmo or something, like where the danger is there, and also where the danger is with maybe like a more traditional financial thing, like a bank account?
Okay. So I want to assume as an individual, especially for people in high school, they may be using uh, fintech technologies like Venmo, PayPal, and the rest. So one of the things is that a cyber criminal can easily get your login information or your user information and could easily log into your account and do a transfer of your money. That is as basic as it is. And so from for an individual, you need to think of how you should be constantly protecting vital information that you have, because once your vital information gets into the wrong hand, they can easily steal your money through techniques, including social engineering. They can social engineer, and get your details. Even when you don't provide all the details, they can sort of get it from the companies that are providing it and use that to do very harmful things, like stealing your money, as I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, that's crazy. And even if they don't steal your money, I know that if you have people hacking your accounts, that can be at best it's inconvenient, right? So
Yeah.
I can tell you, I have a Spotify account, and a while ago, a number of Spotify accounts, I had gotten a email from them that some of the accounts had gotten breached. And since I didn't really pay too much attention to that because I figured, well, it's Spotify, who cares? I use a completely different password than I do with everything else. And then a few weeks later, I noticed that my recommended for me and my recently played had like all these bizarre like um, songs that I had never heard of, and they kept popping up in my feed. And it turns out that somebody was logging in. I was reading a little bit more, and I guess because Spotify pays out by plays, people will hack accounts and then they will pay for playing these to try to generate revenue for people, which I thought was like, wow, this is something you would think, well, your Spotify account is super low risk, assuming that you're not sharing your credentials with another account. And it turned out to be really annoying. And it took a few weeks for my my playlists to go back to, the auto-generated ones to go back to normal. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so those are some of the risks, involved with cybersecurity. That's, in fact, that's a good reason why people in high school should care, because things that they really don't think matter.
People are going to think you have terrible taste in music. All right. So in this module, we're going to have a couple of activities that we're going to talk about in a minute that let you explore some of these cybersecurity topics. But before we get into that, so you teach cybersecurity classes both for undergrads and also at the graduate level. We actually have a new graduate program and some exciting things in the undergraduate space. But would you take a moment to talk a little bit about the types of careers that people could have in cybersecurity and also the sorts of classes that they would take to prepare them for that?
Okay. So because of the growth in the cybersecurity area, a lot of organizations and corporations are looking for people who are really skilled in cybersecurity. I think about cybersecurity as people who do cybersecurity as cyber cops. So there are a lot of interesting careers when it comes to cybersecurity. You can be an IT security analyst. You could even be a forensic a computer security analyst. You could be a cryptographer or crypto analyst.
And what's
There are actually,
cryptography for our viewers? What's cryptography?
so cryptography basically has to do with how you encrypt or yeah, let me use the word encrypt things or passwords, information,
Encrypting.
so that so that
I
it's
mean,
going
you
to
say
have.
like, would it be
Yeah,
fair to say encrypting is like taking just a plain message and then kind of putting a secret code on it, but it's something that's very hard for people and even very hard for computers to figure out what that secret code is unless they have like the decryptor key.
exactly,
So,
exactly. So that's what encryption is. So people can have a career in that. You could be a security architect. So there's just a lot of opportunities as far as our cyber security career is concerned. And at UW-Whitewater, we have um, programs at the undergraduate level and the graduate level in this area. So typically, students maybe in the undergrad would take courses like security systems administration, networking, because you need to understand how computer networks work. You would do classes like data-driven security. So basically, classes that would help you know how you can use data to secure your computer systems or network. And there is a whole lot of them, apart from the basic, for some people, depending on the direction you want to go with cybersecurity, you may also need to take some programming classes.
great, thank you. And so I think that's all for our intro videos that we wanted to cover. Our next two videos in the series are going to be on some of the topics that we just discussed. So the first one is going to be related to your passwords and how do you actually how do you figure out whether or not you have a very secure password? And the second one is going to be related to that whole concept of social engineering and people trying to steal your information to do nefarious things, ranging from basically doing nefarious things with them. So we're going to let you guys go now, but make sure you tune in for the next videos, and Dr. Faniswal will be back for both of those. Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks.